urgently important bill. You'll hear some of the workers at Taylor Farms talk about the abuse and the neglect that they see on a daily basis. It's like having a sliver of Alabama in the turn of the century in the Central Valley.
The quest for higher profits. Companies have come up with a new management scheme. It's a new business model, and the new business model squeezes the workers in order to bring more money to the bottom line. Now you can squeeze the workers in a legal way, and you can squeeze the workers in an illegal way. The primary thing that these employers are doing is going to a subcontracted workforce. Subcontracting is not in itself an illegal act, but what it leads to is very problematic for the workforce. This is happening at Taylor Farms, it's happening across the state of California and across the country. By virtue of going with a contractor for the workforce, you are creating a temporary workforce. When you create a temporary workforce, you create a disposable workforce. Every worker who works for this temporary contractor is considered disposable. And that means that when they choose to stand up to protect in the interest of their rights, their legal rights, they get kicked out the back door like that. And that's a message to the other workers: don't stand up for your legal rights in this place of employment. Taylor Farms is a good example of this, because at Taylor Farms, you've got two contractors that are hiring many of the workers there. They're hiring workers to come to the primary employer's work site. They're hiring workers to work, to do the primary work of the employer's work. And typically they're hiring the workers to work on the employer's machinery. Yet when something goes wrong, when now it does, because contracted work means a race to the bottom. Contracted work means cutting back wages because it's a temporary workforce. It means typically a violation of the workers' rights. Sometimes you don't get your break. Sometimes you don't get your meal period. Sometimes you work 16 hours in the day. And guess what? Without overtime pay.
As chair of the Assembly Labor Committee, I see it as part of my mission to take on systemic, widespread business models that are designed to keep the workers down. Last year, with Assembly Bill 263, we took on employers who used immigration status as a weapon to silence and intimidate workers. We could not have achieved this landmark legislation without the help of Teamsters. And this year, we have an even bigger fight on our hands. With Assembly Bill 1897, we are taking on business model that relies heavily on labor contractors to confuse workers and evade responsibility for labor laws. California's middle class is eroding because of this business model. We must put an end to this before greed finishes the people and labor who have fought so hard for the access to a middle class reality. I'm proud to fight for your right to good wages, your right to benefits, and for helping maintain middle class. In particular, I want to thank the workers at Taylor Farms for your courage in standing up against this form of abuse. You really represent what's going on at the ground zero level. Thank you so much for your courage.
I've been a temp worker my whole life. I would like to share a little piece of my life with you. My whole working career, I've been a temporary worker and an at-risk employee at the disposal of these labor contractors my whole life. I will never see benefits or wage increases or any type of advancements or any type of wage increases or benefits. I will never be able to have the fruits of my labor because Taylor Farms sells it. This law and this bill that's going to happen is going to have a lot of people hold a lot of responsibility and accountability for everything that they've done. I've witnessed a lot of people go through a lot of things and struggles and being hurt at work, and none of these companies take responsibility. I have a problem, I go to Taylor Farms. They tell me I need to go to Slingshot, but Quality Farms is the laborers who pay me. That's 3 people I have to deal with in order to get one simple question answered. A lot of these people who've been at Taylor Farms have been through a lot of ridicule, a lot of retaliation threatened. This is America, where every person, no matter how or what they believe in, color, race, anything, this is their right to pursue their happiness. And this company has no more than threatened them with retaliation, immigration status. All these people deserve what they're up here to deserve and what they fight for. I'm here to fight with them. I've been a temporary worker, like I said, my whole life. And when do I get the benefits of everybody else? I work for my child. It's not even for me anymore. And what do we have to give to them? This is the future. And working and without these bills being passed, the future stops here.
I am a Taylor Farm worker for 6 years. Again, my name is Susie Cerna. These are working conditions that we are fighting for better pay, benefits, and working opportunities to get hired on. I have seen unsafe working conditions, food safety, and I have reported these issues. These things have been ignored through the company. This is enough. We want everybody to know that the struggle that we fight and what we want is a contract, a union contract. Thank you.
And the message I bring today is that you have the support of the 1.4 million members of the Teamsters Union. You will be Teamsters. You will be in our group. You are our family. This is an important bill because it underlines a basic injustice that has happened in America. And here we have a number of people. All the people here are from and represent the problem we're talking about. Because there are people here from Taylor Farms, there are people here from Slingshot, and there are people here from Abel Mendoza. Every one of these represent different companies, but they all work at the same place. And the stories they tell are unbelievable. Stories that you'd think wouldn't be happening in America, where people are abused, people are intimidated. If you go to the union, you're written up the next day. You go from being an employee that never got written up to getting 10 write-ups out of the blue, all because you went to the union. That is intimidation, and that's got to end. We've got to end that. And they tell us stories about, conditions that are unsafe. Not enough toilets, not enough place. You eat lunch, there's no place to stand, there's not enough seats. Things that you take and believe would be so basic to America today are really not there. And the intimidation, whether it's about your national origin, whether it's anything, that's got to end, and we've got to basically have justice here. But what they're doing is they're hiding behind these tips, these so-called temporary companies, like a Kelly girl, but they call them Abel Mendoza, they call them Slingshot. So when you work there, they say, where do you work? Now you're all supervised by the same people, you basically do all the same work, and yet no matter what you say, oh, you don't work for us, you work for somebody else. And the most important thing here is that they have plenty of money. This is a very successful company. They have big clients. They have some of the top, it's like a Fortune 500 company. They have McDonald's, they have Walmart. They have the best companies that are making plenty of money. So it's greed that's holding them back. Taylor Farms, share the money, share the American dream. It's time to turn this around.